Hello, everyone. Hi, everybody. Hello to all the replay crew as well. Gonna give it a few minutes to see if some people jump on, and then we're gonna get started with our crafting. Oh, sorry, this is the front camera. Turn this around real quick. There we go. I knew like something's wrong. Something's not right. That's because I didn't have my lighting on. Let's get us set up a little bit better here. All right. Well, I'm so excited to be crafting live for the very first time on YouTube. I've crafted live on Instagram before, but never on YouTube. So I just wanted to give this a try, see how this goes, see how you guys like it, and then we'll go from there. All right, hold on just a second. I'm going to get my iPad up so I can watch the comments. Oh, wait. Nope. What's going on? Hold on just a second, y'all. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I'm trying to figure it all out. All right, I think, yes, this is what I want. Okay, there we go. Hi, Judy. Hi, Crafty Carousel. All right, now I've got my comments up, so let's go ahead and I'm going to flip the camera around and share with you guys what I'm going to be creating tonight. All right, let's go ahead. Get my stand here. All right. All right, let me do something, fix something else really quickly. Don't want my stand to fall over. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for joining me for this YouTube live tonight. I really, really appreciate you guys jumping on. Where if you could drop in the comments and let me know where you're from. I see Judy, you're from Towson, Maryland. How far is that from DC, from the DC area? I have some friends that live in Maryland, so that's outside of DC, but closer to DC area. If you could let me know, I'd love to hear that. But tonight we're going to be creating a calling it Falling for Leaves card. So this is the card that we're going to be creating. It's going to be a little bit different because at the time when I created this card, I only had white card bases, but now I have some cream ones. And I love that this is a little bit of an unusual fall color pattern or color scheme here. I was inspired by I don't know if you guys have seen some more of the darker like maroons and purples and greenery and things for fall, and then blue has been a color that's been become a part of fall over the last few seasons, and so I really love the addition of that. So I'm going to be using this color palette to create this card tonight. So I see Crafted Carousel is from Arizona. Okay, I see High C or High, is it MCC? um, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I've gone ahead and linked all of the products in the description box below. So if you're interested in knowing what the products are and the exact names and everything later on, you can definitely check out the description box below, because they're listed and linked there. So the products that we're going to be using tonight are the Grateful Words fancy die set from Hero Arts. That would be this die set. This acorn is not a part, or acorn branch is not a part of the set. This is a whole separate die here. But we're going to be using the Blessed in this Grateful Words set. Then we're going to be using the Autumn Leaves fancy die set that we're going to be creating the leaves with. I really, really love the size of these leaves. They give, they're a great size to get a lot of, make a great impact on your cards. Then we're also going to be using the Script Bold Prints rather, dies. This is a 6x6 background stamp. This is a rubber clean stamp. This is a great stamp to have in your stash. I haven't found a season or occasion yet that I couldn't use this stamp. So this is a great one to have in your stash. I highly, highly recommend this one because you could use it in so many different ways. So all of these products are from Hero Arts. Then if you've followed me for any amount of time, then you know that my favorite inks are distress inks. So I love me some distress ink. So in order to create this unusual fall color scheme here, we're going to go start in with some Uncharted Mariner. And the Uncharted Mariner is the latest addition to the Distress Ink line. I also have it in Distress Oxide, but of course I'm using just regular Distress Inks tonight. Then I have Stormy Sky, because I wanted to kind of get a little bit of the blue-gray kind of look going on. I added Saltwater Taffy, which is a relatively new distress ink as well. It's going to give us that peachy kind of feel, because this is an not traditional pattern. Color scheme. We're going to go with some peaches, and so we're going to add into that Saltwater Taffy. We're going to add some Abandoned Coral, and this is a beautiful color. And then to round out and give us some depth and some dimension, we're going to go back in with a darker color called Aged Mahogany. So those are the 5 inks that we're going to be using to create our card tonight. So like I said earlier, when I originally made the sample card, I did not have enough cream cardstock to make a card base. So I quickly ran out to the store and grabbed some cream cardstock. I grabbed a pack of cream cardstock that was 65-pound weight. So if you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I really like to use, are you seeing a pic? I'm seeing something. Are you seeing a picture? Judy, are you having some trouble seeing the video? Let us know in the comments, please. Okay, so this is 65-pound weight. So this is a little bit thinner. This is not going to be strong enough to stand up, especially for a top folding card. So what I'm going to do is just add in another card panel on the back for writing. I'm going to trim it down a little bit and add that in. That's going to give it a little bit of stability. Okay, thanks, My Crafty Carousel, for letting me know your video is fine. I'm not sure what's going on, guys. Judy, if you're having trouble seeing the seeing the video, I'm not sure what's going on. But then I'm also going to use that same cardstock for my background panel. And then we're going to be inking up and kind of creating our own colored cardstock. So I'm going to be using that same cardstock for inking on as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to create our background. Let's move our sample card out of the way. All right, so we're going to create our background. And I've heard lots of people say that distress inks aren't necessarily the best inks for stamping. I have to disagree with them. I personally don't have any problems with distress ink stamping. Sometimes I have to stamp them multiple times, but I have to do that oftentimes with more than just distress inks. Okay, Judy, try logging out and logging back in. I see that you're still having some video issues. Try logging out and logging back in and see if that helps. Maybe that'll restore your picture or your video for you. Okay, so what I want this stamp to go edge to edge. So that means I'm not going to be able to use my magnet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get this right with the text going the right way. I'm going to put some repositionable adhesive on the back. A little bit there, a little bit there. I'm going to stick this down in my MISTI. This is definitely one of those times that having a MISTI really comes in handy. So the MISTI has this little foam mouse pad in it that takes up the space in the MISTI when you're making, when you're using like clear stamps. You're going to take that out because this is a clean mount stamp, red rubber, so it needs that space. So I made sure that my text was going the right direction, so I'm going to close the door of my MISTI on my stamp, pick it up, and now we're going to get started. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my Uncharted Mariner, because we're going to go with the darkest color on our background. So we're going to put some ink down on our stamp here. Oh, is it working, Judy? I certainly hope so. Okay, leave that there like that. I'm going to close the door of my MISTI. I'm going to grab my trusty microfiber towel and just run that across the top to get some good pressure. And we have a little bit of a light impression there. So this is where the MISTI comes in handy. I can stamp this stamp again. All right. I really love this Uncharted Mariner on this cream cardstock. It really, really is pretty. It's a great combination. All right, I'm going to do it a third time just for my own sanity. Sometimes I stamp and I do things multiple times just because, not that it necessarily needs it per se, but it just makes me feel better if I did it another time. All right, run across this. Hi, Natalie. My crafty carousel is Natalie. Her first name is Natalie. Okay, so now we've created this beautiful script background that is going to be used for our card base. So just that quickly, we're done with that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this MISTI, set it aside, and we're going to move on to the next part. So I've created 4 panels here. And what we're going to do is with the 4 remaining ink colors, we're going to ink up each one of these panels, and we're going to cut the leaves out of these inked up panels. I know, Judy, the background is so pretty. The reason why I wanted to do this as opposed to using colored cardstock is one, I wanted these exact colors and I didn't have these exact colors in cardstock um, because I liked this color palette. Secondly, I like the depth and the movement I get because the cardstock, when I ink it up, at least it was when I made my original card, was not all the same. Like it wasn't always solid. It had some areas were lighter than other areas were darker and stuff. And so I think that to me gives the leaves a little bit more dimension and depth. So I like that idea. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. Let me do this the other way. So we're gonna go in first with Stormy Sky. Let me get my ink stand. Make this easier on myself. No sense in making it hard. All right, over here to the side, I have my blending brushes for Distress inks. So I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna start applying this Uncharted. I'm sorry, this is Stormy Sky. If the table starts to shake, guys, I apologize. It's kind of the nature of the beast around here, especially when you are ink blending and you have a heavy hand. Get this inked up. I'm gonna cover the whole panel with ink. Hi, Joy. So glad you were able to make it. Thanks for supporting me. So I'm going to ink this panel up. Get a good amount of this Stormy Sky on the panel. Even if like when you're ink blending and you make a mistake like I did where my paper curled up a little bit, it just keep going. That is not going to be a big deal. We're going to be able to, depends on where our dyes go, we may even be able to avoid that area. Just depends on where those leaf dyes go. Getting a good amount of coverage here. And you can go as heavy or as light as you would like with your inking. So I think that I'm going to stop right here. So you see how we got some high areas and some low areas on that Stormy Sky? That's what we want. All right. Spray some water. Don't want that blue contaminating my abandoned coral. So set that aside and let's go in now with abandoned coral. Let's create an abandoned coral panel. All right. Now, abandoned coral is, like I said, when I made my sample card, which by the way, this is where we're going. This is the card that we're going to be making today. And when I made that card, I know that the abandoned coral is pretty juicy. So this one is not going to take much time at all. Now, this is my first time using this cardstock. So I am seeing and learning as we are making this card, how this cardstock is taking my ink. All cardstock is not created equal. So you do, it's probably to your benefit if you go in and kind of play around with some of your cardstocks so that you can see how they will, respond to your various different mediums that you place on your cardstock. See, this one is, this ink pad is pretty juicy. So it's taking no time at all to get good coverage on that panel. Thanks, Joy. Glad you liked it. So this paper towel is still a little wet. We're going to clean that up and move on to our next color. Saltwater Taffy. Let's get some of this down. Now, like I said earlier, Saltwater Taffy is a relatively new color in the Distress family. We all loved it when it came out. Another thing to keep in mind that is that I'm using cream cardstock, which means that the color that these inks typically are, is going to be a little bit darker than it normally is because my paper is not white. My paper has a little bit of tint to it, so that's also going to tint the the ink that we're going to use, that we're adding. So here's the thing too. I did not, but I didn't want to use white for a white panel for this inking because I wanted to, if where there was going to be like lighter spots and everything, I didn't want white showing up against my cream background like it is in the sample card that we made. So we're just going to go with this as it is. Let me go ahead and clean that up. Not that much saltwater taffy, but a little bit. And our fourth and final color is aged mahogany. This is a deep, deep, kind of brownish red color that I think is absolutely stunning. And I feel like it's kind of one of the least used colors in the Distress family. But it is absolutely gorgeous. I took a class with Tim Holtz several years ago. He used to come to a stamp shop that used to be here in the area. It has since closed. But he used to come to the area and do classes at this particular stamp shop. And it would be like a mad dash to get tickets. This was back when before online sales and everything, and you had to call in and reserve a spot or be up at the store, and it was a mess. So anyway, I got on the waiting list, and then somebody dropped out and I was able to get in. And at that time in the class that Tim taught, he said that aged mahogany was one of the most expensive distress inks to produce because of the colorants that are in this particular ink. They are, I'm not sure what it was, but it must be pretty rare, or it's hard to gather or collect or whatever the case may be. But anyway, this color, so it's a good one. All right, guys, so we have all of our panels inked up. Now it's time to pull those leaf dies out. So let's get our autumn leaves fancy dies rather, and we're going to pull these out. Now this die set only has 5 dies in it, but I really, really love, again, like I said, the size of them, and then there's a variety of leaves as well. So let's just kind of go ahead and lay these out and see how we're going to cut. I always like to cut more than I'm actually going to probably use. Sometimes I shock myself and use it all. Just because I don't want to have cut everything out and then be like, oh, I really would like to have that in, this other color. And then I gotta stop and cut again and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, not necessarily my most favorite thing to do. I think I'm gonna cut this maple leaf out of the abandoned coral. I'm gonna use some Easy C tape. Take my dies down in place. And then I'm going to show you guys my new favorite tool. Woo. The panels are still a little damp because we just inked them up. So my new favorite tool is the Hero Arts Compact Cutter rather. And the reason why I love this compact cutter is because it fits nicely on my desk. And if my dies are the right size, I can cut most things that I use for my card making. Now I can't cut like background dies or any type of larger die like that. I definitely have to take those over to my big boy in the back of me. I have the Spellbinders Platinum, not the Platinum 6, the Platinum, the big die cutter. And so that one is just too hard to kind of pull and bring into onto my desk, albeit it's just right behind me. So what I usually do is just turn around and use it. But not having to do that is really, really nice. I'm about to use this backwards. So this is the Hero Arts Compact Cutter. Comes with 3 plates. You get an A plate, which is your bottom plate. You get 2 B plates. And the thing that to know about this particular cutter is that when you cut, you want your dies facing up. So let me make sure everything is covered up. All right. And I'm going to place my B plate on top. Then I'm going to run this through. All right, there we go. There we go. We got a set of blue leaves. You know, I got to thinking, let me get my little pokey tool here. When you think about it, when you look at all the different trees and shrubbery and things out there in nature, there are some leaves that have a blue dusty looking color to them. And so this is not that far, off from the actual real deal. Joy says, I always cut more than I need. It's better than being annoyed. Yes, Joy, I agree. So much better than being annoyed at yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut one of these out of the abandoned coral. Take that down. Put that on the A plate, dies facing up. Get our B plate. Make sure everything's in there. All right, there we go. And then, Joy, do you have a little stash to the side of your desk that has like all your extra cuts in it, or a little jar or something? Anybody else do that? Cut more than they need? All right, let's see. There's that one. You're trying to get away from me, aren't you? All right, this is going to be beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to that first combination. I'm going to put this one, combination of dies. Put this one up here. Put this one down here like so. And angle it just so. Make sure it all fits on the panel. I put mine in the envelope with the dots. I do that as well. Depends on sometimes what it is, but I do a little bit of that. I have a little jar over here to the side. Kind of got some mint tape in here and a couple other die cuts. So I do a little bit of both. I guess the important part for us to know is don't throw it away. You can use it later on. It might come in handy. Okay. There we go. One pass through this cutter and everything is cutting like butter, as Laura Fedora can say. Cuts like butter. Are you guys seeing this layering up, this color that we're creating down here? Falling in love. I really wanted to add some of the, ooh, almost tore that. Some darker, like the maroon type colors into my fall decor this year, but I started looking too late. Stuff was already gone. Wham, wham. All right. Last panel here. Go ahead and put that over there on the magnetic sheet. I do have a video on my YouTube channel talking about how I organize my die cuts and everything. I know I have people, I'm going to go ahead and ask me from time to time where to get the magnetic sheets from. Because this magnetic sheet right here is already cut to this size. So I don't even have to cut this one. I have it, I get it from Amazon. I'll try to put the link in the description below. But I don't have to cut anything. It just already comes in the perfect size to fit most stamp and die sets. All right. I'm doing this wrong. I see it now. Got the dies faced the wrong way. Oh well. It's gonna be all right. All right, put that to the side. Oh yeah. This is coming together. Loving it. So these little pieces of Easy C tape, I always take them and put them on the end of my desk because they can be used multiple times. And I like when I can get multiple uses out of my supplies and stuff. All right, I'm gonna put that compact cutter out of the way. And now we're going to start kind of, well, actually, I'm going to trim this down. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go to my, I also have a big 12 by 12 cutter. These things are left over from when I scrapbooked. And I always love to work on 12 by 12 pages for scrapbooks. So I have a lot of things that are built for that kind of crafting. So my cutter is over behind me as well. So I'll be right back. All right. All right. Let's start doing some dry fitting of our leaves. So on the original card, I started with the maroon, then went to the coral, the aged mahogany, then went to the abandoned coral, then the saltwater taffy, and then ended with the stormy skies. So we're going to stick with that kind of layout. So we're going to kind of go in reds to peaches to pinks. So this weekend is, switch that up a little bit, Halloween. Anybody have any plans for Halloween? If I put it away, I can't find it anymore. I know that's right, Crafty Carousel. I think I'm going to leave those out because I got plenty of that shape. Man, keeping stuff organized when you're using it regularly, woo! That's a task and a half. All right, so I think I'm going to go with a layout kind of like that. Do I need this on here? Do I? Yep, I do. Plugged up that hole. Yeah. cares if we got a couple of the same type of leaves laying on top of each other? That's nature. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so I've got my leaves kind of laid out how I want them to be. And so what I'm going to do is use one of Jennifer McGuire's tricks. I have a piece of press and seal here. I'm going to take this and lay it on top of my leaves exactly how I have them laid out so to stay how I want it. Press it over the background panel as well. So everything is all together. Be careful to kind of pull it all up to get all up as one. So we're going to set that aside. And now we need to create our sentiment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, again, one of these pieces of this ivory cardstock. And in the sample card, I used the mahogany, aged mahogany ink, and inked up a third of the panel, and that's what we're going to do now because we're going to have aged mahogany here. Then we're going to finish with that aged mahogany on top of this Stormy Sky. That's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to bring in the aged mahogany, bring it back in rather. Get my, and I only need a third because I only need that top, the actual word blessed to have ink on it. And I'm going to go pretty heavy with this ink because I want good saturation. It doesn't matter if I'm getting kind of the swirlies. All that matters is that I have a good application of ink. Anybody else out there like are heavy-handed when it comes to crafting and inking and things of that sort? If today your birthday, Joy? Oh, your B-Day is the day after Halloween. Well, happy early birthday, Joy. I'm reading the comments. Disneyland. I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World a couple of times, but I've never been to Disneyland. It's on my list, though. It's on my list. All right. So let's clean up this my aged mahogany ink real quick. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this aged mahogany area out. Trim it off, rather, from the main. Because I want this to be able to go through my die cutter. See, y'all, I'm being good. I'm putting it all back in its little sleeve. So the grateful words sentiment, I'm going to use the blessed. So there is a shadow layer and a word die. We want the word die on the mahogany. And we want the shadow layer just on the plain cream cardstock. I'm going to turn it that way. All right. About to break my own rule. I share it with y'all. Put your plates face up. This is what I'm... Yep, my cream cardstock is just a little bit bigger than my plates, but that's okay. I can still get what I need out of it. So I'm going to cut 2 shadow layers from the cream cardstock. Yeah. I'm going to cut 2 shadow layers and then 1 blessed layer. One of the actual words. This is, you know what? Let me just do it the right way. Stop being lazy. Tape it down. because I want to make sure it stays in place. There we go. I heard it's tiring. Have to take bags of money to spend. Yes. You've never been to Disney World, Joy? Well, look at us. You've never been to Disney World? I've never been to Disneyland. Yes, it is very expensive, and I did just see a news story saying that the prices at Disneyland just went up, which I'm sure is the same thing for Disney World, and that for a family of four to go to the theme park for one day, it would be like almost $1,000 if they got the all day park pass, the like the I forgot what you call it, where you can skip the line, or you can get scheduled to so you don't have to wait in line so long. If you get that, and then there's food and money for food and souvenirs, like it could cost $1,000. Like, woo! I always said whenever I had kids, we would not go to Disney World or Disneyland until they were able to, like, really be able to, one, ride rides, and two, be able to remember it and appreciate it. Because that's a lot. That's a huge undertaking. All right. And there's our blessed. All right. Throw this over here. Get this out of the way. And just like that, y'all, it's time for us to start assembling this card. All right. So I, like a lot of crafters, like to use Barely Arts glue. I absolutely love this needle nose applicator tip here. You can get a lot into some very tiny spaces and places with this little bitty nose here, applicator. So then just put a couple of dots of liquid adhesive along this first layer. Layer the second shadow layer on top of it. Kind of squeeze those two together, make them friends. I'm going to put an acrylic block on that while I go ahead and add some liquid adhesive to this. Now this thing is super thin. So having this little thin nozzle helps tremendously. And just to put some dots around here. But also because this is so thin, like it can wiggle on you when you get ready to put it down. That's the part that I'm like, ah. Okay. I'm gonna bring in my reverse tweezers and kind of use those. Get my little fat fingers out of the way. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to put an acrylic block on that, and I'm going to bring our panel back in. All right. Turn it over, and then I'm going to pull this panel away. And now these leaves are layered up exactly like I want them to be. Let's scoot that out the way a little bit more. So now all I have to do is just put some dots of glue on all the parts that I can see. Here we go. Keep doing that. Going all around. There we go. Put a little bit more over here. I want to share with you guys too that that Hero Arts has the holiday stamp along coming up next weekend, as a matter of fact. And I, as well, along with several other presenters, will be teaching classes live on card making. It is going to be a fun event. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. And so we would love it if you guys would join us in that event. I'll be sure to leave a link in the video description below if you haven't already gotten your ticket. It's going to be a fantastic event. I've attended the events many times before. Well, pretty much since they started doing them a year or so ago. But this is my first time being able to teach, and I'm so excited to be able to do that and to be able to share with this wonderful card making and crafting community. So let's get back to this card. So this, another benefit of using this press and seal tape is it kind of becomes a little guide, because you can see through it and you can see exactly where you want to lay your items down. So I'm kind of getting an idea, and then I'm going to press everything, all of these beautiful, beautiful leaves down onto this background. Now, if you want to take this up a notch, take this design up a notch, you could cut several layers of the leaves and glue them to the back of each leaf. And that will give you a lot of dimension to add to the leaves. Right now, the leaves are just one layer, but there's a lot of them layered up here together. So that's, you know, that in and of itself is going to give us some dimension. So here's our leaf panel all glued down. All right, now we're going to bring in our sentiment, which we're going to place right about there. All right, let's get some of this glue on the back. Anybody taking kids out for trick-or-treating on Monday? Thanks, Joy. I know Crafty Carousel is. I'm telling you, this press and seal. The other thing about the press and seal too is that you can use this several times. So I love. Hi, Sandra. So glad that you could join us. So I kind of keep a little stash, a little stack. As a matter of fact, here's my other little pieces and parts. A little stack of press and seal, and then whenever I need a piece, I just pull a piece from the stack and kind of keep it and use it, and then put it back over there. You can probably get at least 5 uses out of each piece of that press and seal. So that press and seal, one roll or one roll of press and seal will last you quite a while if you reuse the sheets and pieces. All right, let's go ahead and get this glued down before this liquid adhesive dries on me while I'm running my mouth. All right. All right. So I'm going to put an acrylic block on that and set it to the side while I go ahead and get our card base ready. So we've got my card base here. I decided to make this one a top folding card. I have a little like IKEA cart over to the right of me. I'm right-handed, so I have an IKEA cart over to the right of me that keeps a lot of my supplies in it, like the ones that I use regularly. One of the things that I keep in that cart is some already pre-cut craft foam. So this is a piece of craft foam that, you know, you can find at many of the craft stores. And you can find it at Dollar Tree, that I use sometimes instead of foam tape. This is way more economical. It covers the entire back of the panel. And so, you know, just depending on what mood I'm in, I might use craft foam tape, or I might use craft foam. Either way, it's got to be adhered to the card base. I think I'm going to adhere it to the panel first. I want to make sure that my panel is hidden. The craft foam is hidden behind the panel. We got that little wonky edge over there. These are kind of some of the things that I do when I'm sitting down in front of the TV watching a series or something. I'll cut up some foam tape. I'll make my card bases. Do a lot of those type of tasks that have to be done in order to make your card creations. When I'm inspired to make a card or make a craft, to get into my craft space and do some crafting, I don't want to have to, I'm ready for that creativity to come out. And the last thing that I want to do is to have to cut a card base or cut a card panel or something like that. I don't mind cutting die cuts, but I want to jump right into creating. And so having the card bases and everything kind of pre-cut helps me with in that way. And it keeps my creativity alive and flowing. All right, so I'm going to just put a acrylic block on that real quick. Weigh it down a little bit. This word was making it a little uneven. All right, and with that, guys, our card is complete. Bye, Joy, you gotta go. I'm so glad you were able to join for the time that you were here. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys, our card is complete. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video with me. Hi, Dominique. Hi, Arsenio. This, again, this is an unusual fall palette, but I do love it. I love the way these colors came together. So this one is top folding. Our original card, you can see I kind of got a little bit more heavy-handed with that Stormy Sky on this card. It is side folding. And it's on a white card base. So, all right, guys, here's our two cards. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. If you have, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. You can always find me on Instagram and Facebook at The Delta Crafter. Be sure to also stop by my blog, thedeltacrafter.com. And I hope to see you guys back here soon. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye.